If you are already in retirement or if you're getting ready to retire, we're going to explore 7 ideas here on things not to do when you retire. So stay tuned for the full segment. Thank you for watching. This is Richard with Wisdom Investor. Today we're going to share a few ideas here on things not to do in retirement. Now, I know many of you are already retired and you probably have some great ideas. Feel free to share those ideas. Others are thinking about retirement, and I hope some of these ideas will help you get off to a great start. So stay tuned for the full video. Share your ideas, share the video with others. Today, we're at what was once a small volcano. It's now called Battleground Lake State Park. We're about 60 miles southwest of Mount St. Helens, which erupted back in 1980. We're going to hike around this lake as an upper and a lower trail, and we're going to share some ideas on what not to do in retirement. We're starting this hike around this lake on this lower trail here. You can see it's well maintained here. Lots of green, lush plants here. Lots of nice ferns that grow along the way here, and then some of these trees here that are sprouting up are giant fir trees that you'll find in this area. So the first thing that we want to talk about here today on things not to do in retirement, the first one is don't move on an impulse. Now, I know many people are thinking about moving to a different climate, or maybe they want to move to an area closer to their relatives. There's all kinds of ideas here. But think about it first. Maybe if you're going to move to an area, stay there for 6 months to a year just to get an idea what it's like. But many people will move to an area and then find out, well, we don't have any friends here now, or maybe they don't like the climate after all. So the first idea here is don't move on an impulse. Now let's go over our second idea here about things not to do when you retire. And this one has to do with relocating also. There's a small bench here on the trail here. We're going to stop here just for a moment and talk about this second idea here. Now, if you're thinking about relocating, and maybe this is a long distance type relocation, and you're going to rent something and go there for a while and visit, you want to be very, very careful before you send somebody some money on a long distance. There's all types of false rentals these days where they run an advertisement, you send the money, you get there, and you find out the rental didn't even exist. So don't fall for that trap when you're in retirement and you want to relocate. You've got to get some type of verification before you move. We're continuing our trek around this lake here. You can see the lake on the background there, and also you see quite a few boulders here. These are boulders that were left from when this volcano did spew out magma. And so we've got to be kind of careful as we walk through this part of the trail here. Now, the third topic we're going to talk about here today on things not to do in retirement is don't take your Social Security too early. Now, remember here, I'm not saying don't retire early. You can retire as early as you want, as long as you can make your income cover your expenses. But think twice before you take Social Security early. Taking Social Security early is at the age of 62. Now, it's going to depend on when you were born, your full retirement age, but you could receive 25 to 30% less in Social Security by taking it early. Now, some people, depending on their savings that they have built up, they have to go ahead and take it. That way they can cover their expenses. But if you can delay taking Social Security in any way, take it as late as you possibly can. Let it build up. The fourth idea here I wanted to share is don't be afraid of the stock market. The reason why is because there's high inflation out there. Your money needs to grow with inflation. And about the only way to really do that these days is through the stock market. And of course, real estate can be a good investment also. But there are some low volatility, low risk ways to invest in the stock market. You don't have to have all your money in. And we talk about some of those ideas here on our channel here. But the main thing is don't be afraid of the stock market. The stock market has a positive trend. Now, when we talk about investing, I'm not saying just jump in right now. You want to do some investigation before you do invest in the stock market. But what I want to say here is there are some low risk ways that you can get involved because you want your money to continue to grow and stay ahead of inflation. We've got kids on their paddle boats. Someone's out here fishing. And we have some people having fun in their kayak. Our fifth area here we want to talk about as far as things you don't want to do in retirement, and that is to be lonely. You do want to have some friendships. If you don't have any friendships, you want to take the initiative and start developing some friendships, maybe just one at a time. But you want to have some friends that you can discuss things with. Maybe you're not feeling so well. You can go over and talk to your friend. They might be able to build you up, or you may be able to build them up. So our fifth area here is develop friendships. Don't spend your time in retirement being lonely. We have all kinds of activities out here today. We have people that are biking. We have people that are getting their tent set up for a big picnic here today. The sixth idea I want to share on things not to do when you retire is don't blow or waste your money. Yes, when you retire, it's a time to celebrate. It's a time to be happy. You have freedom now, but you don't want to blow your money. You definitely don't want to spend and get back into a debt situation. Now, you may say, well, I want to take some trips. Maybe I want to travel. Keep in mind, in today's world, travel can be expensive. It's not cheap to travel. So that's one area where you could easily spend a lot of extra money. There's other areas where you can also start to spend more money. So be very careful. The main idea here is don't blow and don't waste your money. We have scuba divers getting ready to enter the water here at the lake and find out what exactly is on the bottom of this lake. Our number 7 idea here when it comes to things you don't want to do in retirement, don't ignore the fact that you need to budget and write it down. The early stages of your retirement is when you're going to start spending more, and that's when your spending can get out of hand quickly. So don't ignore setting up a budget. Write down your expenses, especially in the early stages of your retirement. Get into a routine so that you can set a pattern and get an understanding of how you're spending your money. We looked at 7 different ideas here on things not to do in retirement. And several of those ideas had to do with finances and money. Money does play a big part in retirement. You want to make sure that you have enough income to cover your expenses. So if you have any comments, something you'd like to share about ideas on things not to do in retirement, leave your comments. They're much appreciated by everyone. want to thank you for watching and stay tuned for our next episode.